Hey everyone, taking another look at that Denon DJ SC Live 4 that should be coming out November 1st. It's a little bit of a leaked image here. Sorry that's not amazing resolution, but it tells you enough about what you want to know. In this video, what I want to do is I want to compare it with an XDj-XZ. Because lots of people are talking about how Denon ripped off the XDj-XZ, or they took the design guys from Pioneer and brought them over to Denon, and all of this craziness, and it's just ridiculous. Now, my take on it personally, it's like a car. When you get into a car, you expect the gas and the brake to be in a certain spot. You expect the blinker to be in a certain spot. You expect the radio even to be in a certain spot. The mirrors, there's everything that you expect to be in a certain spot because a car is a car. You know what I mean? And especially nowadays, if you look at a lot of SUVs, all these SUVs look identical to each other. Every brand has copied every other brand. Look at phones. iPhone and Samsung, they're very damn similar. They might have some slightly different features, but they're pretty similar. Now, when it comes to DJ controllers, right? I've had so many DJ controllers in my life, and buttons are always in a different spot, muscle memory and everything else. This is probably the smartest thing Denon could have done to a DJ controller is make it look like the industry standard, which is Pioneer, it's club standard, and everything's laid out where it should be. So, the pitch is where the pitch should be. The effects are kind of where you expect them to be. The color effects are kind of where the sweep effects, as they call them, they're exactly where you would expect them to be. Because if you jump over and you see everything's laid out kind of where you expect it to be. The loop section, we have buttons here for the loop. And over on the Denon, you got the loop in, the loop out, and you have a loop encoder, which, the knob is actually better. I'm not sure why Pioneer never adopted that idea. But where you change your decks on this one, because this is a 4-deck where the XDj-XZ only controls 2 decks as a standalone, and this does 4. This has the Wi-Fi, so this has more functionality, but we're not talking about the functions. I'm just talking about the design and the layout. The layout, the Q button, the effects on and off. We got pitch adjustment here, which of course Pioneer doesn't have. But here's the idea. If you're an XDj-XZ user, a Pioneer user, and you hop on the Denon product, you're going to feel very at home with it. Nothing's going to feel too far off. There's a few changes, you know what I mean? But the workflow is going to be pretty damn close. It's not going to be too crazy. Where you got the loop, you got your browse knob. You got your load buttons and stuff underneath. It's about the same. Some of the things you don't have, obviously, is like, the master volume knob is there. Where on the other unit, your master's at the top there. So there's some differences, you know what I mean? So it's not like a complete rip-off copy or anything like everybody's talking about. It's literally just getting in line that all DJ controllers, you can only do so much to them. The idea is to make them similar, so when people jump from one to another, it's not some giant learning curve, you know what I mean? Like, when they first switched over to what they call the club standard, having the pitch all on one side like that, instead of having the mirrored mode. Mirrored mode initially was weird to get used to because, you're used to having the pitch on the right-hand side of your turntable, right? Or on the right-hand side of a CDJ. So then you got into a controller, and all of a sudden, the pitch is on the right and the pitch is on the left. But technically, from my use, it was almost better. The mirrored thing for your brain almost made more sense. Then when they got rid of the mirrored controllers and they went to this, it was a learning curve. It was changing everything around. So we're at this point now where controllers, doesn't matter who makes them, they should follow a pretty standard what everyone's used to, because if you want to get people from one brand to switch over to the other, it's going to be a lot easier. It makes more sense. Why wouldn't Denon make their stuff like a Pioneer? Because the Pioneer workflow is good. So it's a good workflow. And then if you're a Denon user and you're using this controller, and you decide you want to buy Pioneer for some reason, the switchover is going to be pretty easy as well too. So all those people on the forums and in the groups talking about Denon ripping off Pioneer, no one ripped off anybody. I mean, like I said before in previous videos, I really believe this controller is not really designed for your average, wedding DJ or hobby DJ that's like, deep into the hobby, like a prosumer level stuff, right? This is more for that beginner, but a little bit more than beginner. You know what I mean? Because there are cheaper options to get into things, but they are very much for like younger people. This might be, more for someone in college, let's say, university. It's got the built-in speakers. You want to have it in your dorm room. You don't want to be too loud with it. Even some guy in his 40s that just wants to, start getting into it and have something that's kind of halfway decent, but, and everyone says, hey, for an extra $400, you can go buy a Prime 4. But I suspect this thing's going to be a little bit smaller. You know what I mean? There's going to be something different about it. I don't know. I'm probably going to get one of these things soon in the DJ lab to check out. And we'll see. You know what I mean? It's either going to be really, really cool or I'm not going to like it. But it's hard for me to judge because I have so much gear here. I'm comparing this to top-end stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't play around a lot with the real cheap controllers, a lot of like the little Newmarks and stuff, just because I haven't had a reason to. Nobody has sent me any of the cheap stuff. So, should be interesting to see. Feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think between these two. Like, there's a big price difference between this XDj-XZ and the Denon DJ SC Live 4. But functionality-wise, I think that the Denon's actually going to beat it because of all the streaming services and light control that it has for nano leaf lights, hue lights, and the DMX stuff. We'll see. Let's hash it out in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the alert button. We got lots of videos coming up soon.